My name is Hoon. I'm Associate Director of City Features Research Center here at UNSW. This is an exciting project. Some of the areas I never discovered before, particularly agricultural business. But I trained as a planner and a geographer. This is something what I really enjoy that I like to proceed. The brief project background, you probably hear about the Namoi region. So it's vast area on central New South Wales around the Tamils. I guess you might be been in Tamils and around. There is huge investment in terms of agricultural productions, and they try to attract a new business. And often it's a difficult questions is those of newcomers and new business investors, where is the suitable land for particular agricultural business? And this project is developing supporting tool, decision-making tool for those planners and the new business or even tourists. They might interested in where is the suitable land for particular business purpose, and also types of agricultural product. So this is this huge fighting collecting data. So there is vast over GIS data and also location data, special data we need to collect. Apart from that, we need to understand those business types, agricultural business, what their scientific requirement. For example, beef farming, the water access and the slope is particularly important. But chicken shed is not. Its temperature is more important. So we need to understand vast, knowledges and in-depth knowledge about the science. But in the same time, we need to collect a large volume of geographic information. So that is what we are trying to do and develop the tool. So next slide, please. So we have a couple of major the step undertake in order to deliver the research output. First thing is that we collect the data, which include topological informations and business informations and all statutory planning and also land use planning. There's vast information we collect. Some of the data we couldn't collect it, which is we highlight later on. But one of the most important data we need, which is existing business location. So this is a huge land, huge area. We know that where is what types of business are located, what are the economic activities are. Once we understand these types of business, then we actually developed a lot of layers, geographic layers, and we actually analysis multi-criteria kind of analysis conducted, and therefore we can visualize the most suitable land for particular business, agricultural production, and so on. So this is the types of process we do. In order to do that, we need to know that what is the most significant factors affect land suitability. So we arrange and we actually held a co-design workshop with planners and industry partners and also experts in this field. So we have 2 workshops during the projects, and we actually conduct survey during the workshops, and those survey information, we actually developed a further refine and tuning our model later on. So in order to improve model reliability. So next slide, please. So this is types of business we collected. This is not easy because there is so many new business, existing business, and also the businesses haven't registered yet. So this is what we identified about 6,438 agricultural related businesses. And you probably see that our largest number of business related to the beef cattle farming is about 3,400 over. And there is different types of business. You can see pig, grains, and even mushrooms, a very small business, ships, and different types of business. Each business location we actually geocoded. So we actually create a map which we can access information where the business are. So next slide, please. So this is the location of different types of business. That maps is also available using the website. Your map link is there. There is Kepler we use. This is kind of customer version. So you wouldn't really see the very detailed information, but it's enough to see that basic information, sense layer, and the location, and so on. So this is hopefully might be able to zoom in, but unfortunately this slide is fixed screen. So if you click each dot is show the information what types of business and business names and location and so on. This little box in the middle, you can see that different colors means different business types and so on. So next slide, please. So we create a bit of a density map. This is kind of a good exercise. Once you understand whether it's certain types of business they like to cluster. For example, cattle farming, they tend to clusters. If you find one cattle farm, your neighbor might be do similar business. That sort of things. It's about chicken shed, it's just random. You can find it anywhere. So this is a sort of understanding. Different business, they might have some sort of pull and push other business. So we try to allocate this business and generate the density map. So this is a little bar. It's to show that what types of business is sort of number of business, and the low business, different lengths of bar, kind of 3D bar chart, which is to show that the business density and concentration and so on. Next slide, please. So it's another way we can show that cattle, beef cattle farms. This is you probably see that about 3 major kind of clusters around Tamils, and those the area is actually existing cattle farm. So why we actually need to understand existing cattle farm. If someone actually want to have a new location of a cattle farm, this is actually relatively a good reference. This is types of good suitable land for cattle farm because they already have the infrastructure and service available around there. Then this is also kind of show that there's less risk natural hazard, for example, flooding and bushfire and so on. So this is our types of business. Each business, we try to understand their location patterns. Then we develop our decision-making tool later on. Next slide, please. So this is a types of layer we developed in a multi-criterion layers. I might show that different layer what we use and how we actually use this layer to develop the multi-criteria toolkit. So next slide, please. And this is types of the criteria what we need from literature review. For example, crops is soil. Quality is very important, your HP level and hay pasture, land, this is soil, moisture is important for climate, and for soil texture is quite important. So a lot of science is behind that. So you try to understand each business, what is significant, criteria for the business. For example, the slope is very important for beef and lamb and pig meat. So we collected most of this data through the very different sources, range of sources, government website, open sources, and also some of the data we actually purchase and order it. But one of the data we couldn't access, which is groundwater availability, which is unable to access, and other important data like odor, because it's the neighborhood, the order that is particularly, cattle and those pigs and chicken farm area, that is order is particularly important. We couldn't access this odor emission, unfortunately. And there is some limitation I want to say. Next slide, please. So this MCAST tool, which is a kind of software, we actually need to develop the algorithms and the formula behind. So this is a kind of, the a platform we use, which is open source software, but we need to develop, all the data layers. So we use about more than 30, 40 different data layers. And also we need to provide, this is a weight, each weight of each criteria. So, and then, actually we use this multi-criteria analysis, which turn into visualized most suitable land for particular business. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the weighting method. So it's basically apple to orange. It's very similar. What is soil is more important than slope. So this is a types of analysis. First, we screen through the literature review, and we actually make criteria, which one is the most important variable. Then we go through that co-working design, those experts, we conduct a survey, and basically it's a pair-wise survey. Okay, soil types and the soil slope, which one is more important? This kind of give a scale, and each expert actually give a slightly different scale, or if think that most are important, is probably in the middle. So we collect this information and update this weighting later on. So this is called AHP method, but I wouldn't want to go through in detail, but this is a simple explanation. Next slide, please. So this is a co-working workshops, and James and Doc was there, and Maria was there, myself. So we invite, a couple of city council planners and business partners, expert there. Then we evaluate the criteria, which criteria is missing, what criteria is more important, more weight than the others, and so on. So in the during the workshop, we found a very interesting the view. So next slide, please. So if you see, this is a types of a word cloud, and that we ask, what factor is most important in particular business. Poultry, you probably see that the water and transport is sort of important. And, cropping, climate, and soil is very important. So different word is more than 230, 100 different, the criteria. The expert is actually type in online survey. So they is automatically generate these types of word cloud. And we found that some of his livestock is transport is very important, which I didn't know. And so we try to looking at those accessibility to major kind of transport hub and service center and so on. So this is a very helpful practice. And next slide. Then we actually weight each criteria, which one is higher and the other. So this is a kind of weighting matrix. So you probably see that the higher number is extremely important than the others, and the less important. So this is metric actually used, develop some sort of formula when we actually developed this tool. So this tool actually use these types of metrics to generate most suitable land. When they evaluate different criteria, they actually suggest different types of land use and land suitability for particular business. Therefore, each business type has a slightly different land suitability map. So that's what we actually visualize at the end. Next slide, please. So this is a types of practice. We show that transport access where is more easily accessed or very hard to access in high slopes is still no arterial road or truck can't access particular region, and small 2 lanes and 4 lanes in 1 lane, and etc. And utility accesses is in particular service centers and transport hub, and major utilities and waters and so on. And the natural environment, obviously, bushfire is a big issue, and a bit of flooding area as well. And local, kind of, context, land use planning, the easement and buffers, and some environmental protection, conservative land, and so on. So this is we use all different types of layers and generate the map. Next slide, please. You see that this is the types of tree, and this is the software automatically detect, what sort of, the cluster of criteria. For example, soil types and soil humidity is a similar cluster. They actually cluster the soil types of evaluation criteria. Then climate changes, then we use temperature, humidity. This is a climate change cluster. Then they automatically decide which cluster. Combine all together, the map is developed, medium map, and the final map, we consider everything is together. So this is a kind of a different stage developed how to actually develop the land suitability. At the end, we consider all in sink, kitchen sink types of analysis. If we consider all variable, different weight, okay, and what is land suitability looks like. And next slide, please.
Hoon, you've got 1 minute left.
Yeah, so almost done. So this is kind of map suitability of livestock farming. This is the area is most suitable and not suitable. You obviously see those red areas not suitable, and the suitability map, which is available again, the website, the internet link, the map link, and left-hand side. Next slide, please. And this is our final slide. So we generate each land suitability of particular map, which is useful for business investors and planners, help them make decisions of future land rezoning and business cluster by they looking at. So this project is finished about just 2 weeks ago, and the final report is a handover. So we testing these various scenario at the moment. Then we probably need further tuning once we get the feedback. So this is our project quick summary. Very happy to answer any question. Thank you.